Okay, we're
Full
live.
screen.
Yeah.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know where you are, but I am in Israel. I'm Dr. Meyer, the founder and CEO of the Mental Wellness Society. We are not for profit organization, and we help everybody, no matter what of the race, the religion, the ethnic background, the country. We help everybody. I am based in Israel, and we will be tonight live in Tennessee with in Nashville, Tennessee, with Dr. Char. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for being part of it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, since you made an interview of me, I owe you one, but it's not the reason. Our interview together have been posted on LinkedIn and had a lot of good response. I think I love the vibes and the things that you convey, and I think we are a great team. So I wanted to repeat what works. Uh,
Oh,
okay, so uh, tonight is our sixth broadcast in terms of regular broadcast from our members. In fact, we made Monday another live broadcast in emergency with Ukraine because we have developed we are helping people in Ukraine. But it's the sixth installment of speaking about our members of the Mental Wellness Society. So tonight the subject is wellness to fully enjoy living, on how diabetes, which is the field of specialty of Dr. Char, is affecting our mind, our mood, our body, and how to develop resilience. Because we always have a choice. The choice, there is always a possibility to do the best in any situation. Dr. Char, tell us about yourself and tell us about what brought you to be with us.
well, when my small team found you and invited you to be on my podcast, it was one of the first few I had done, even though I've been in this field for 100 years. It was all new to me. And to understand when you explained about the Mental Wellness Society, I want us to be a team. I want to be part of the community. And then you had those groups, the 4 groups, and I've looked over them, and I think I could fit in any of them really, but the health and the wellness is what stirs me, and it holds my passion, um, because I was born, um, 64 years ago, and almost 50 of that I have dealt with type 1 diabetes. And with the diabetes, um, there's just so much to learn, so much to navigate. And I can see wrinkles when they come on my face, and I can see the waistline when it expands, but I can't see my brain. And there's so much through the years that hasn't been told us about the emotional side of it, feelings, how we can handle that. So I went to school for that as a counseling psychology specialist. It's getting better, but for a long time, I only received referrals once they had once a patient had lost their amenability. They were tired of trying to count the calories. They were overwhelmed with it. Then they would refer them to me. And so it's getting better, but you have another thing that I enjoy, and that is the Mindful Choice Academy, because I would love to be part of and plan to help pass on to another generation or share with my colleagues how emotions are wonderful. They're just not good leaders, and we can be the boss of them, and we can align with the thoughts that we want to align with. And diabetes is either hindered or helped by our management of that brain that was given to us for us to be the leader of. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay, that's great. Speaking of which, of course, you are invited because you are one of our experts in the Mental Wellness Society. And all our experts are invited to become part of Mindful Choice Academy and to be part of our faculty. So whatever you have in mind, we'll speak outside this live, but it's valid for other people seeing. You send me a short title, a short description of your course, and for who it is and what it wants to achieve. But the beauty of what we have is we have an academic affair vice president, Rinda Montgomery, and she's helping to take the curriculum we have for professionals, all type of professionals. She's taking when it's interesting and it is critical to help children, we can adapt it to the curriculum to go in class, K-12, and also for educators and for parents. Because what you are talking about is really a matter, if not education, at least information.
Absolutely.
People need to know more. In that field and in everything in our life, we all suffer of too many information and so much of fake news, and we don't know how to sort it out. So having institutions which are vetting, which what we do, good information from experts who are at the top, at the cutting edge of their field, all over in the world, is very important. So that's what we do. We are present in 72 countries. We have 250 members that we handpick because of their specialty on the area where they are. And we all work together because we all volunteer. So it's not an organization to raise money, it's free. We don't ask people to put money. We are a not-for-profit organization where the work is made by the members. We are all volunteering our skill and our knowledge. So I think it's yes, you will be teaching us, and we will be sharing. Hopefully, with the help of Rinda, hopefully we will even go to school with what you have to share, because it's important. So, what do you hope to accomplish with the Mental Wellness Society?
Well, right now I'm working on a program that works. Reversing anxiety works wherever you are in life, but my passion being diabetes, because on my way to get to this point, I was taught in school basically how to manage anxiety. So I taught others how to manage anxiety. But what I've learned through the years, and we're growing in knowledge, and the knowledge being wisdom is very important to turn that to wisdom, because we get so much information that it's only knowledge when we can digest it, and then to make that work for us in our lives. That wisdom is so fantastic. But nobody, some years ago, it was not in vogue to teach somebody they could reverse it. We as mental health specialists needed to sit with the patients and help them manage it. I'm just going to leave it there. Help them manage it. But what I believe, what I know, is we were given a brain. It's ours. It's just a machine. Somebody has to lead it. Somebody has to boss that thing around. And that's us. It believes what we say. It wants to go get what we want. So as a diabetes patient, if I say, oh, that donut looks so good, and I eat that donut, but I don't enjoy it, and then I say, oh, I should not have eaten that donut. Here's the brain saying, okay, does she want the donut or does she not? Now, I say that in jest, but as patients of diabetes, that's not so far removed from what we do over and over and over until we learn that our thoughts are just thoughts. They're great suggestions sometimes, but it's up to us to grab that suggestion and align with it, see if it aligns with what we believe in that brain. Or if we don't want it, just ignore it. It's just a suggestion, because a feeling will grow from that. And once we get that feeling, we have thought, it leads us. We let it lead us. And again, it's not just in diabetes, but diabetes is where I'm at. That's where my passion is. And as patients, if we don't teach this, people don't know. And so if my feelings come along in fear, anxiety, whatever, I react. My behaviors become, hey, we wore a mask long before there was a pandemic. We just pretend as best we can that everything's okay. And nobody is showing us another route until recent times. And I'm very thankful for the day we live and this platform and the opportunity to share that with you. But I can align my thoughts and throw out the window or ignore thoughts that doesn't align with what I believe and what I want to believe. But then I have to hear my feelings. See, feelings are good for us. You know, we're equipped to handle emergencies. But when the emergency's over, we are responsible. It's our privilege, our obligation to stop the emergency. So if it's a low blood sugar I've just encountered at an airport and I am hateful an hour later with my husband or my son or my brother, that's my responsibility. Now my blood sugar's good. That emergency brought with it maybe a change in mood. But once I understood that it's my ownership, once that blood sugar is normalized, I'm the boss of that emotion. So a bad emotion can inform us of danger. And we're equipped to handle that in war, in time of emergency, when a lion is chasing us. We're equipped when that emergency is over. And that's where we start with stress. And when stress is not addressed, prolonged worry sets in, and prolonged worry turns quickly to anxiety. I'm telling you, you can reverse it. It takes a skill, and my goal is to help teach that skill on this platform as well as other places in the world.
Very good. You are touching some subject that I need to get involved here. When you say we have a brain to do that, that's not what we teach in mindful choice, because the brain is common to between us and any mammalian. We are mammalian, so the brain only knows to give a reaction which is fight, flight, freeze, and that's subconscious. And many people live their life through reaction, action, reaction, based on their emotion, which are rooted in the brain. Very quick, 180 milliseconds. But then comes the mind. And the mind is in the prefrontal cortex that humans have as a superiority on animals. And many times we react in a very primal way. And this is not the intelligent human best answer we could do. So we need to teach people what you can do by using your mind. And by using your mind, you are not obliged to act on your emotion. You can reason. You need to have reason over emotion. And when you do that, you can decide, I want that cake with sugar, but you know what? I want to function well. I want to be in good health. I want to be happy. Well, I don't take that things with sugar today. Maybe another day, but not today. It's a delayed gratification. And when you do that, it's a battle of every minute by every minute in life. but you need to have in mind what do you want to be your life to be. You need to have a project in yourself, not in this moment, but further, and then act in this moment accordingly. And to know that, you need to know the difference between the mind and the brain, between emotion and feelings. And you can adjust that by your attitude. So by being mindful of the choice you do, that's why we call it mindful choice, being mindful and aware of the choice you do, you can control it even in emergency situation. Because in emergency situation, we'll speak about that maybe when we speak about Ukraine, in an emergency situation, at the moment, and it's good for diabetes or anything else in life, at the moment you only see one choice, not two, not an alternative, not two possibilities, but just one, you are already dysfunctional.
You're right. May I respond?
I'm sorry? Yeah,
May I
sure.
respond?
Sure.
Okay, I think we're saying the same thing. I've watched you, I've followed you, but I think I go at it at a different route. And for me, the route I approach that change, I absolutely see the mind as like our software. We download that, we're controlling that, and I see the brain as our operating system.
Hardware.
And once the brain of our operating system it's downloaded, like by the time we're 7 or 8 years old, by somebody that should have nurtured us or not. But when we get to our thoughts and our mind, that software that we're talking about, when we get to that, then our thoughts, our feelings, the words we say, because every word we say either builds or tears down what we're doing.
Fraction of second, domino effect.
Absolutely. So when we do those three things, so in that software that we're talking about, that we agree totally on, in the thoughts, it's my opinion that those thoughts are suggestions. Those feelings, we get to boss them around. They're not the boss of us. And we say it to build it. And therefore it then brings to us the behaviors and the actions we've wanted all along. That is why I say habits are not sustainable until we fix that. When we fix that, and it's a skill that I don't think many people are teaching. It's misunderstood because we've taught it such another way. But I think I'm more with you than I'm not. And I believe I have a skill that can further what you're doing.
Absolutely. Actually, we both do. You see, we'll agree again. We both provide a software upgrade to our clients.
Yes.
It's an upgrade of the software. And this is new because it did not exist based on the psychology of the 19th century. Because in 19th century, they were considering people were sick. And they created what we call the mental health system. But the mental health system is to repair. We at the Mental Wellness Society, we are on a wellness model, which is to prevent. So we train people to understand, to become expert of themselves, and to be able to attain peak performance for mind and body. We are like a champion. You can be a regular guy and sit in front of the TV and not be proactive, or you can become proactive in what your life you want to be your life. On this, you become an expert, and we can train the people to become an expert, but they need to change habit, which is not easy, but it's feasible. If you explain the people the rationale behind it, because humans are not stupid, and human can understand logic, but yes, it goes against what they have done before, and we need to teach them to change. So they need to want to change, and to want to change, they need to understand what means that change. So we have developed a system called positive personal effectiveness. You need to be positive, and you want to be efficient in the functionality in what you do. And it's personal because it's to you. Mm-hmm. So That's what needs to be done. And that's, I think, what you do, what we do in your own world. But that's what I felt when we were talking together. Uh, of course, we're doing the same thing. We're in the same society.
It's the same thing when we build habits. I think habits are wonderful, but they work until they don't. For a diabetes patient, when your environment changes, sometimes that habit goes down the window. But it's sustainable if you change what you believe, if you change what's in that bigger operating system that's yours to change by using that software to make it what it should be and what you want it to be. And absolutely, then that one skill, instead of diving in as a therapist into your psyche or into your inner child, it's literally teaching a skill. Doctor means teacher. It's teaching a skill, and people, it's not that hard. And you can change a belief in 10 minutes, but you have to practice in your software and make sure. But then it's sustainable when your brain will change. Your mind, you have to operate it from that point of view, and you can be whole even when you're dealing with circumstances less than desirable.
We have a card for that.
You
Your past does not define your future.
That's right.
Your past does not determine your future. And by the way, if you live in your future, you are not here in the present.
That's right.
And the future does not exist before the present moment passed. So we live in the present second by second. We need to be aware of what we can do. And what we can do, what we can affect and effect, is not in the past.
And
it's not in the future. It's now.
There's a skill that I have about reversing anxiety, which could be for anything. It's 3 or 4 steps, and you learn to do that, and you walk through that pattern. You can see my wrinkles on my face. I can't see what's in my mind or on my brain, but I can put cream on my face. That wrinkle will remind me to. But yet my behaviors, my emotions can remind me to get myself back in gear and get myself online. It's just a few skills, and we can be everything that we need to be. We can't do it for yesterday. Compassion is great for yesterday. We can't do it for tomorrow. It'll take care of itself. But we have this hour. All you and I have is right now, what we're doing with each other. And then we'll have next hour, and I'll go have lunch and you'll have dinner after this. But right now, this is all we have. And at this moment, I really don't need much. Do you?
Correct. But it's very correct on. It's based on what you are saying. It's based on the concept of change. You want to change.
Yes.
Want to change, you don't change by one action. You change by a process.
Yes.
You need to follow a process. And to change, you don't start by here and I do that next time. First, you have in mind your destination, what you want to achieve. And then you do a step at a time in the right direction. That's why in mindful choice, we say, you have good choice, you have bad choice. What is a good choice? What brings you closer, quicker to your destination? What is a bad choice? What takes you away? And what takes you away is your emotion, an emotional choice. You need, or an automatic choice. But we have a solution.
You have plenty.
To any problem everybody has, there is the same solution to any problem in life. For all of us, stop. What you do does not work. And if it does not work, you need to do something else. By the way, we have 80 icons of psychology skill that people can learn, and they can really memorize the iconic communication. It's easier. So what's your big tip for the night? Tell us your big tip.
After this discussion, I think it would be you are the boss of your emotions. They're great followers. They're not good leaders. They inform you.
You are the boss, not to follow your emotion. They are come so quick, and they are chemical. That's why it brings us to diabetes, because what we see, what we have is transformed in a electro-biochemical signal. And your emotion fires is in 1/5 of a second. But
Oh,
what you can do, if not quicker, but what you can do is not act on it and think. Think. Is it good? Is it bad? Do I do it? Do I do not?
and that's
On,
why you have to be the boss of it. You get
on
to choose.
binary, you have the one to be the binary judge. Is it good? Is it bad? Do I do it? Do I don't? But at the moment you don't see a binary choice, you are already dysfunctional. So you need to train yourself to always see a binary choice.
That's why you need
On
the other.
the first binary choice, I will not bother you with the card, but the first binary choice is this or not. Not this or that. This or that is the second point. The first point is this or not. Do I eat my cake or not? Do I take care of my health or not? And if I do, this is what I need to do. So that's people need to understand that the decision process is in fact a decision tree. And we can teach people how they think, and we teach them to improve it. So, but it's you need to learn, and you need to accept to learn, and you need to accept to change, and to come to that. There is a moment where you need to say, stop. It does not work. I need to do something else. And yes, you need to eventually have the help of a provider which will help you in your diet, in your health and wellness, in your fitness, in your mental state. But it's difficult to change alone. In the field we are talking, self-improvement is extremely difficult. So that's why you need a coach or somebody to help you.
Bad
So,
emotions inform you of danger, and then you get the to make the decision to direct them. Good emotions, we don't have any problem enjoying them, but we have a birthright of joy, and there's no need for us to allow our emotions to be the leaders and just whatever we feel, act on it. What is great about what I believe you're saying, and I'm saying, you asked me for one tip. There's steps to get to that, but the tip is we've got to lead our emotions. And that's what I think if I had one thing told to me during the course of 50 years, it would be that somebody would have paid attention to more than just my numbers. They're very important. They're vital for my survival. But in no area of my life was anybody teaching me about that point of emotions. And so if life was hard, life was hard. Now, circumstances are circumstances, and I can't always control those, but I sure can be the boss of those emotions. And if that's a Southern term that you don't get like you see it, I don't see us believing it any different. If what we agree on is the bigger piece of making the choice, those thoughts come, align with only the ones that align with what you believe and need in your life. And when the emotions come, sure, they come. 3 thoughts come a second, and emotions will jump right away. But we don't have to be afraid of those emotions. We don't have to be afraid of feelings. We get to direct them. And at the end of that direction, the behaviors and the actions can now be sustainable if and when we build what we think and feel with what we say. And we do all of those things. We build it with saying it, and I'm whole, I'm healthy, and I'm full of joy.
absolutely. So that is that card where your emotion versus reason. So your reason here is more weight than your emotion, which are there. You need to give primacy of your intellect over your emotion. I have a 3.5 years old daughter, adorable baby. I have been given the gift to have a little girl. She's adorable. But at 3.5, they only know emotion normally. Well, since she's a very little thing and she started to have tantrum, I taught her that the tantrum is not good for her, and it does not. Uh, uh, we she does not know how to deal with those emotions. The emotions are directing her. So what do we teach her? That what you think and what you say have consequence.
Mhm.
And you need to decide, because you will pay the consequence, whatever it is, not me, you yourself. So goes in your room. She goes in the room. 5 minutes later, she come back. She say, I am sorry. I don't want to make any problems. It's better that I don't do that. Fine. And you know what we do? We don't speak about what she said or what there was, because it's the past already. We say, okay, great. We don't continue. When she have a good intention, it's not the moment to speak about the bad thing of the past. That's positive psychology. So we need, whatever we do, inject positive psychology, because to think about anything negative does not produce a good result. Yes,
Right.
doctor.
Right. I'm sorry. What you just did in my world of explaining, you took her operating system, which is she's born with, she had in her mama's womb, she comes with that system, that brain, that system, and you start downloading the software. When you download her software now, it takes you to help do that right now, because she doesn't have the wherewithal to do that. So good parenting, good nurturing, good skills build that. By the time she's 7 or 8, she can start doing that for herself. By the time she's an adult, she will have to undo what you did wrong, and she'll have to continue. But then there'll come a point where she can't blame anybody else, because she's now an adult, and it might be difficult because of what she was taught and what was in there, but she can have everything she wants because she can change the software of her thoughts, feelings, words, which changes her behaviors and actions.
You touch a big subject. My field of research is split-second decision under stress for safety. And with my team, we discovered that you always end up where you look, and you don't just look with your eyes. So where you focus, whatever you focus or you think, it's where you go. So you need always to be able to focus on a positive outcome. And if you focus on a negative outcome, you end up in problem. So this is a skill you need to learn. But humans are reprogrammable. Humans can reprogram themselves. So it's not necessarily self-auto reprogrammation, but it's something with a little bit of help, you can understand how it works. Because it's a question between nurture and nature. We are born with certain aptitude and certain reaction, which many of them are like our parents, but because we copy what we have been seeing.
Right.
But there is nurture. Nurture is for intelligence. How do we make the best of the world around us? Because humans are supposed to protect their environment, improve how they can deal with situation. We'll speak about Ukraine in a minute. And we as human is absolutely important to remember we don't react like a primal mammalian. We are mammalian. We should not react like that. We need to react as a person with a higher individual, with a higher purpose, which is a purpose to do the things the best we can, and the best for us, but also for others. Because the best way to help us is altruism, to help others. An action we do for others is making us better and more happy. That is also about your diabetes people. If you teach people how to manage, they owe you something. They need to teach other people. If they have been blessed to be exposed to something which changed their life, why don't they help other people? And you need to be trained to do that. That's what we do. We train people to train people. And that's the way it works. So we are approaching a time where do you have another subject you want to bring?
I want one more moment.
Go on.
If our operating system, if our big system that we came with is 90 to, if the science is right, and it holds 90 to 99% of what we do, how we think, and that's our subconscious, and our consciousness, our mind, our will, our emotions holds our awareness 1 to 9%. And that's why if in our awareness, we do everything that you and I have talked about, and it changes that operating system, then why in the heck do you think when we go down the road and we get from one gas station to the next street and you say, I don't remember driving here? It's because our awareness was on something else, and our big operating system knew what we were going to do, knew us, and it took us there. It's when we are not aware, if we make that in that little 3.5 beautiful little girl, her software now, and it builds what she believes, and that full growth pattern happens like I believe it's happening with parents like you guys. When she's an adult, she will have her awareness those times to do everything and make the changes she needs to operate well. But when she in her subconscious, it's going to operate on what she believes, and that's why she will be and can reach her destiny, and it all works together.
Yeah, and actually it's a proverb in China. If you really love somebody, you don't give him a fish, you teach him to fish.
Absolutely.
But you can, and when you learn to fish, you can learn what you fish, how you fish, and you can adapt yourself, and you can choose what you want to fish and how you want to fish. So there is a lot which comes from there. What you want to teach people is that they can change,
Yes.
because they are not born a loser, they are born a chooser. We can choose. That's very important. So I will speak a few minutes about the Mental Wellness Society. We have some slides. We have 4 groups that anybody can join in the Mental Wellness Society. So that's the 4 groups that we have. We have Health and Wellness, Agent of Change. It's more for corporation and organization and self-improvement in corporate world. Education and parenting, and then we have psychologists, life coaching, social worker, therapist. Then we do have some products that we published. They are the product of Mindful Choice. We have books, we have the cards that you have seen, 80 cards. We have course, we have online course. Everything is automated. We even have analytics online where it will tell you if you have attention deficit, conduct disorder, ODD, oppositional disorder, but also if you are procrastinating, it's an emotion. There is 7 types of procrastination because that stops you to change. And also we have a very good analytics, take 2 minutes to tell you what is your ratio on your score on mind and body, health and wellness. Because that's come to the subject of tonight. If you cannot have a good handle on your physical part, on yourself, on your wellness, it's very, very difficult to help you to make a cognitive improvement. It has to start by mastering yourself. So you can get in touch with us at the www.mentalwellness.com. We have also a network for getting everybody together. It's a mental wellness, the mental wellness society. We have the mental wellness global network where we communicate with people all over the world. The next session next week will be with Diana Petzol from Brussels and Isaac Garcia from Texas. They are co-chairing the Agent of Change group in the Mental Wellness Society. And we will speak about peak performance for Agent of Change. But before we finish, I would like to speak 2 minutes about an emergency happening in the world. There is problems in Ukraine, problems that none of us have chosen to happen, problems that the Ukrainians have not chosen to happen, problems that the Russians themselves have not chosen to happen. But it is what it is. So the Mental Wellness Society have decided to create a task force for Ukraine that we have developed. We made the first, we have Dr. Vus, who is a coordinator, who is a coordinator of the psychologists of Ukraine. On Monday, we started to make a task force. We are now starting to work with the Red Cross, soon with the United Nations. We have many people joining us, helping us, because we want to bring in people in Ukraine psychology support to be able to develop resilience and to maintain their wellness. We are talking about 4 populations: the one who fight in the defense, the one who are on the area which get bombs and they are civilians, the one who escape the bomb but they are refugee in Ukraine, where I was speaking with Dr. Vus today. A city like Lviv was 1 million inhabitants. Now there is 5 more million who joined that city. And 100 kilometers from there, you have a camp with little children, women, older men and women, who there are 2 million in Poland. So we have decided to help to train us in situation of emergency and trauma with the tools that our expert can provide. We have developed 5 commandments, 5 tips how you can help people in situation of emergency. And we are developing a lot of support. Our health and wellness group is very active to helping people to stay in terms of mental and physical health and wellness. And our psychological team is getting involved to bring help on psychology to that. And we have even our education group who is involved, because we are taking contact to volunteer and to help little kids to be able to access school through internet. That's important. And we have also Sherry Kelly, who is the head of the education group, education and parenting. Her daughter is starting a group, teen to teen in America, who can talk to teen in Ukraine, and that helps. And that teen has an expertise because she was unfortunately implicated in the Columbine shooting. And that's an experience she has to help other kids in that situation. So it works very well. So please help us to help them. And we would like you to join our task force and volunteer to whatever you feel that you would like to do. We don't ask you anything. You choose what you want to do. And we are not asking you money. We are asking you help, time, effort, networking. So that's where we are different of many organizations. Okay, with that said, I want to thank all of you, and particularly Dr. Char, Dr. Char, we need to make few more. And we need to talk about, you gave me an idea to make a course together. I want to make a class with you, the two of us.
Awesome.
Because I think we are making we come from a different point of view, but the synthesis of it is awesome. So I want to thank you for your contribution, for your passion, for your energy. Thank you for contacting me. And let's meet next week. And thank you so much. Stay in touch with us through our social network. Thank you
sir.
very much, everybody.
Thank
Have a good evening.